Hey everyone, can you hear me? There we go. Okay, so a severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for the Sarnia area, so I just wanted to jump in and give a quick update on how that's going and where it's tracking. And I'll pop in and out as warnings are issued and that and provide updates on where the storm is going. So anyways, this is the storm that prompted the warning. It just went through the south end of Sarnia, so through Lucasville, Boyne, Osborne, and right now it's tracking towards Petrolia, just to the north Petrolia, towards Wyoming, Reese's Corners. So you're about to get some hail. I'm just gonna read the description for the alert. What is Environment Canada warning? 90-kilometer-an-hour wind gusts and nickel-sized hail on that storm, and they say 5 kilometers northeast of Corunna, moving east at 55 kilometers an hour. So maybe that would be the one. I'm gonna find the radar here to move around. Okay, so it was that one. So it's that one that just went for Corunna, Lucasville, south end of Sarnia, and now it's tracking towards Wyoming. And just want to give an update on some storms that are forming north of Chatham-Kent. Nothing severe at the moment. And then we will go over to London's also getting a storm. We did do a polygon for severe thunderstorm potential, but that storm has kind of fizzled out a bit, so don't know if they'll be reaching severe levels. But we do have a severe thunderstorm watch in effect, and we're still watching these pop-up storms over Collingwood, further south towards Arthur, Shelburne. Just some pop-up thunderstorms, nothing severe at the moment. We'll keep watching, and I will pop in occasionally when there's an update. So thank you for being with us, and we'll talk soon. Hey everyone, Brennan back. I just wanted to give a quick update. We have a new severe thunderstorm warning that was just issued for the Chatham area. And Chatham's not getting a storm right now, so if you're in Chatham, you're probably like, what is this warning? There's nothing in the sky. But the warning is actually further to the north from Thamesville, Northwood, Dresden. This storm that's just popped up, and it's basically sitting over the area, so I'm just going to double check the description here. Very strong wind gusts up to Nickel-Sides Hill. I guess Environment Canada is also probably warning that for the flooding potential because that storm's just like training over the one particular region. It's not really moving. So we'll keep an eye on that. And this storm that just went to the north of Petrolia is under severe thunderstorm warning. We'll see if they extend that further to the east for Watford and Arcona, Forest, that area. You're going to get a storm soon. Just severe thunderstorm. Oh, it was just updated as I was mentioning. So we have a severe thunderstorm warning that was just issued for the Petrolia. Well, Petrolia was in it before, but we also have Warwick, Lambton Shores. This area is now under severe thunderstorm warning as well. So we have 3 of them, all from Chatham-Kent. And we continue to watch more storms popping up. This one's interesting to the west of London. Strathroy is about to get a storm too. Likely some smaller size hail, not a severe thunderstorm warning at the moment, but we are under severe thunderstorm watch for that area. So we'll continue to watch that to see what it does. And storms are just popping up all over the place, so we'll continue to see throughout the coming hours storms popping and then fizzling. And they're very slow moving, so hopefully we don't get some training over a particular area. Flooding could be an issue. Anyways, I'll keep watching and stay tuned. I'll have more updates soon. Hey everyone, Brennan here, back with another update, and we just got a new severe thunderstorm warning issued west of London. Just gonna zoom in here. So it's for that storm that's just to the west of Strathroy at the moment. It likely some hail being produced near Kerwood, just to the west of Strathroy. So we'll continue watching that one. That's under severe thunderstorm warning. And those ones over London continue to look non-severe at the moment. Definitely maybe some flooding potential in London, as we have heard reports of some flooding on some roadways. So we'll keep an eye on that as these storms continue to affect the same region over and over. They're very slow moving. And we still have the severe thunderstorm warning in effect for the Chatham region. That's mostly for the north end near Thamesville, and that for that storm that's just locked over Edberts, Thamesville, Carlton, Bothwell. Keep an eye on that. And of course, that initial one we first got near Sarnia. Just zoom in here. Wyoming's just in it right now, so you're likely getting some strong winds, some small hail, maybe up to, I believe, Environment Canada nickel to quarter-size hail. Environment Canada's predicting for that storm. And a few storms popping up to the north of Detroit on the U.S. side of the border. We'll have to keep a close eye on those to see if they eventually make their way into our region. And I'm just gonna go up here and see how our storms to the north are doing. Nothing severe at the moment. I don't believe Environment Canada has a severe thunderstorm watches in effect this far to the northeast. Mainly just non-severe pop-up storms, so you may get some small hail, some strong wind gusts, the normal garden variety thunderstorms. Keep an eye on those. We'll see how they develop. Just gonna switch over to velocity here so we can take a look at what the winds are doing. So, a little strong winds. It bouts at the 50 to 60 kilometers an hour near Singette, Egerton. See, nothing severe. Just gonna go down to these storms that are severe thunderstorm warned. Now, I believe Environment Canada is mainly warning these for the hail risk, because we're likely gonna see some dime, nickel size hailish, maybe up to quarter in the strongest ones, but that's questionable. It's mostly marginally severe. We'll keep watching, and I'll pop in for often updates here and there as new warnings are issued, as they're ended. So please stay with us, and I'll have another update very shortly. Thank you. Hey everyone, Brennan here with another update. I just wanted to update on our watches that are in effect, that it just changed a bit. So we have new watches that were extended to include Woodstock, Brantford, Kitchener, Guelph, Arthur, that area. And the severe thunderstorm watch that was in effect for northern Huron County and the parts of Blue and Gray County has ended because the storms that were over Lake Huron have weakened significantly. It's mostly just rain that are heading through Goderich and Wingham at the moment. Nothing concerning, but we do have to watch for these storms that are forming to the northeast of London through the Stratford region, Kitchener, Fergus, Arthur. They do have a bit of potential, and Environment Canada is indicating that to produce severe weather. And it's mostly just pop-up storms, so they'll fizzle out quite quickly, and then more will pop up. So we'll see how they go. I'm just gonna take a quick glance further to the south, and I'm gonna switch over to our warnings at the moment so you can see the differences. So we still have warnings in effect for Chatham-Kent, Sarnia, Watford, and Strathroy. Still severe thunderstorm warnings going through there. Although Sarnia is probably looking into the clear right now, there may be some more storms to come later this afternoon. But right now, that storm that prompted the warning is almost outside of that warning zone. So I would suspect that Environment Canada will end it shortly once it tracks into the Watford region and eastern Lambton County. So we'll keep an eye on that. And this storm that's tracking into London slowly. London just got a storm, not severe. But there's more development further to the southwest. We'll see how that develops because we've already had reports of flooding in some parts of London. Apparently, some streets are flooded, and that's from the earlier storm. And it's still technically over the area, it's just stationary basically. And we have more storms to the southwest, so we'll keep an eye on those and see if there could be some flooding potential with those. And of course, those storms to the north, we'll keep an eye on those. So I'll be back very soon with another update as watches and warnings are updated. Thank you for staying with us. I'll be back shortly. Hey everyone, Brennan here with just another update. We haven't had any changes with our warnings from Environment Canada, but I have just put a notification on the storm for minor rotation. Yeah, that's the storm. Zoom in here and get our velocity up so we can take a look here. I believe this was the one that Adam is notifying. I'm just double checking on here, just mentioned it to me. Yeah, so the storm near Newbury. Okay, so it's this one further to the south. I wonder what radar he's looking at. Oh, okay, I see what he's talking about. So it's this one that just popped up, going for Newbury, Glencoe eventually. So we're keeping a close eye on that one, and I'm just going to remove the stream here so we can see the full. This was the storm that Adam notified for minor rotation, and it is under severe thunderstorm warning from Environment Canada. You can see just a little bit of minor rotation there to the east of Newbury, heading towards Strathboard, Burn, Woodgreen, Glencoe. We'll keep a close eye on that one. We're not really expecting much of a tornado risk today. That's why our hybrid stream is up today, because these storms aren't too severe, but there is some severe risk. And as I'm talking, London just got a severe thunderstorm warning issued by Environment Canada. So severe thunderstorm warning for London. And I'm just going to take a quick look at the storms further to the north. This one near Barrie's looking interesting. Maybe some strong winds heading through Apto. Not looking too strong at the moment, not severe. Maybe a bit of hail to the North Angus too. These storms are just popping up and disappearing as fast as they pop up. So we'll just have to keep an eye on them, how they develop. Let me see what Environment Canada has for watches up in this area. Yeah, so far it's just Arthur, Kitchener, Fergus that has the watch. We'll see if Environment Canada extends that further to the northeast as we see storms popping up there. Just flipping back over to warnings. We can take a look here. We'll have to keep an eye on this storm too that's developing over Michigan. It will maybe track into the Port Lambton area, Marine City. Keep a close eye on those, but it's moving very slowly. And it looks like Sarnia was removed from the severe thunderstorm warning. There is a watch still in effect for Sarnia. We may see some more storms move into that area as we see development further to the southwest. Keep an eye on that. And of course, London's going to be having quite the rainstorm shortly. I know you've already gotten a lot of rain in London in the past hour and a half-ish. And we've heard reports of flooding. You're going to get more rain, so we'll have to keep a really close eye on that. And I'm just going to take a quick look at comments here. Rachel's asking, Alliston okay? Let's take a quick look up here. Alliston's about to get a storm momentarily, if not already, but it's non-severe. There's nothing concerning from the Alliston storm at the moment showing up on radar. Gonna slip on over to velocity here so we can take a look. No. And then there is another storm that's more developed towards Shelburne that's also tracking towards Alliston. Matthew says, when could Sudbury be hit by storms tomorrow? I don't believe. I'd have to double check that. Give me a moment. I'll double check the models for tomorrow to see when it's coming. You may get some storms early this morning, although models haven't really been picking up on these storms really well, because that storm that just came into Southwestern Ontario wasn't really well predicted by the models. I don't think Sudbury's going to see much the next, at least, no. Maybe Wednesday Sudbury could see some storms, but it's mostly going to be southern Ontario. So talking about central Ontario, southwestern Ontario, eastern Ontario, it's not really a concern for Sudbury at the moment. Hey Brennan, do you know if you guys are planning to do a stream for Quebec either tomorrow or on Thursday? So we are planning to stream tomorrow, maybe if it gets strong enough. And we will, of course, mention Quebec. It'll be mainly an Ontario storm because that's where we're based out of. But we will, of course, if there's storms to talk about in Quebec, we'll, of course, talk about them too. But hopefully soon enough, no promises, but we are hoping to expand to Quebec shortly. So we'll have our forecast maps, we'll have live streams and that. So hopefully very soon. Are the storms near Barrie? So Barrie's getting a bit of storms right now. Not severe at the moment. Maybe some small hail. It's mostly to the north of Barrie, so Midhurst, Apto, Elmville, Horseshoe Valley would be getting some. near Angus too. Storms are getting in the Barrie area, and we have to watch further to the south because these storms are just popping out of nowhere. So it's hard to predict which areas will see a storm because until we see them pop. Is there a live stream on Facebook? So right now we're just live streaming on YouTube because it's more of a hybrid stream where I'm jumping in and out. We don't really have Adam on the stream talking for hours on end. I'm just here providing updates every few minutes, and we're trying this new approach where we'll stream directly to Facebook if there's like a concern for a storm. So if there's something rotating, a tornado is on the ground, if we feel that we need to reach as many people as possible, because with Facebook, they send notifications to everyone that we're streaming, so we're trying to limit those notifications as much as possible so they're more worthy, so people actually pay attention to them when they see that we're streaming on Facebook and they know, oh, we better pay attention because there's something actually happening. And as you see, we've been streaming a lot more often for these lower level events that we normally didn't stream last year. We usually reserve streams for like widespread events, anything like slight, strong. Now we're like trying to stream these lower level events because we know a lot of people rely on our streams for storm anxiety reasons. So we'll try to be here as often as possible, and we will stream direct to Facebook when needed, when we feel that everyone needs to watch the stream. I didn't get a notification on that for the live stream. Yeah, I didn't really send one today because it's just a hybrid stream. I may send one out now that we're actually seeing severe warnings and that. I didn't really expect that we'd see a lot of severe warnings as we have today, so I didn't really want to notify people just to listen to music. But now we're actually doing coverage. I may actually send out a notification, so thanks for that suggestion. Lots of comments reporting hail. So yeah, that's basically the main risk with the storms right now. It may be like dime-sized hail up to nickel. That's what Environment Canada's warning. There is that minor rotation near Glencoe. That not Environment Canada, but Adam just put a notification on for minor rotation, and I'm just gonna double check on how that's progressing at the moment. Take a minute to load. Mike is asking, think Guelph will see any action tonight? Yeah, I believe you are under a severe thunderstorm watch at the moment. Let me just double check that. So yeah, Guelph could see some storms shortly. Yes, Guelph is under a severe thunderstorm watch, and there's storms just popping up to the west of Guelph right now, so I'll take a quick look at Guelph to see how it's going. So yeah, there is storms just popping up. Stratford, Kitchener, these storms are very slow moving. So along with the small hail, I would be very concerned about flooding because these storms are just like staying in one area and like training. So we see like these storms fade as they move away and then more develop to the south. So it's just a constant line of storms, and we've heard of flooding in London at the moment. Keep an eye on that. So yeah, so London's about to get a storm. There is severe thunderstorm warnings in effect. So we'll continue to watch, and I'll provide updates very shortly. I'll be right back. Hey everyone, Brennan here. I just sent a push notification to everyone in our risk area that we're live streaming now because we are seeing some severe thunderstorms developing. So hello to everyone new that's joining us. I'm here covering the storms. Adam is taking a rest day because we are expecting a very busy few days across Southern Ontario as we are expecting storms on Tuesday and Wednesday. So Adam will be back on Tuesday and Wednesday. For now, I'm here and I will be jumping in with regular updates. I'll try to keep them every 10-15 minutes as warnings change and we get new ones ended and etc. And if we see anything interesting, I'll jump in to cover it. So as you can see, we have a new severe thunderstorm warning that was just issued for the Barrie area. And that's for the storm that's just north of Barrie. The north end is about to get some hail, likely at Cundall, Springwater, Midhurst, between that area. That's what prompted the warning. I'm just going to double check what Environment Canada is saying right now. 90-kilometer-an-hour wind gusts and nickel-sized hail, and that's the severe thunderstorm warning that was just issued for Barrie. And I would guess that Aurelia will probably be added to it shortly because that storm is tracking to the northeast. So we'll keep watching that one, and we're definitely seeing a lot more development happening through Kitchener, Fergus, Erin. The storm's really developing. Models didn't really indicate this much level of severity. Ignore the sirens in the background. That's the perks of living in Toronto. You just get constant sirens. So in case you're wondering what's happening there. Yeah, oh, we got a new, and just as I was saying, I was expecting that severe thunderstorm warning would be extended, and it was even extended further to the south to cover Allison, Innisfil, and that's for these storms that are popping up over Alliston, Shelburne. The main one is just to the north of Barrie, tracking through Oro, towards Aurelia, Hawkstone, so keep an eye on that. And of course, I wouldn't be surprised if Environment Canada decides to put out some warnings for these storms, mainly because they're very slow moving. And they are tracking towards Guelph, Kitchener, Georgetown, eventually maybe Northern GTA, Mississauga, Brampton, Vaughan. We'll have to see how they develop. They're very slow moving, so. And we continue to watch these storms as they develop through Southwestern Ontario, through London. We've had reports of flooding in London, and it's likely only going to get worse because the storm's just locked in over the area. You've been getting constant rain over London for like at least the last 2 hours. I'm just gonna double check on what's happening with these storms that are in Michigan right now. We do have a severe thunderstorm watch in effect for Sarnia, and that's likely because of these storms Environment Canada is watching as they develop to the north of Detroit. They're very slow moving. So keep watching that. I'm just double checking. We did have a minor rotation notification on this storm as it went through Newbury. Just double checking what we have here. I believe it was the American radar. Not seeing anything at the moment. It does look like the the energy is getting pushed up into the more northern storms because we're not seeing as much intensity further to the southwest, although there is severe thunderstorm warnings in effect, so keep an eye on those. And we, of course, are still watching those ones as it goes for Barrie. Eventually, Aurelia's going to get some storms. Oro. And I heard there's a lot of traffic on Highway 11 right now going southbound because of the long weekend. So there's a lot of people on the highways and they're about to get pummeled with probably smallish size hail. So we're talking about dime, probably pea size, maybe up to nickel. Environment Canada's warning, and then strong wind gusts. But the main concern is hail, flooding, and then wind. I'm not seeing a lot of wind, although, now that I say that, could be some strong winds heading through Barrie right now. Just double checking to see what we have. This one near Elder to the east of Shelburne is showing some interesting features with wind. Again, these are just marginally severe storms, so it's not like going to be significant. You should still heed any warnings from Environment Canada. The main concern, which is what I think Environment Canada is warning for, is the hail and the flooding. So I'll keep an eye on those. And as things change, I'll jump in and out and providing updates. I'm going to try to provide audio updates every 10 to 15 minutes. If we get a new warning or something catches my eye on radar, I'll jump in. I'm here in the background. I'm reading your comments. So if you have any questions, I'm here. I'll update the ticker and I'm going to put on Ontario Storm Report so we can see the latest reports. If you have reports, please go on to Facebook and type in Ontario Storm Reports if you're not already in their group. And if it's safe to do so, please capture a photo and we'll show it on here on the stream and we can see how these storms develop. So I'll be back very shortly. Please stay with us. Thank you. Hey everyone, Brendan here with another update. In case you're new here, I just want to remind you that Adam's away today. I'll be jumping in and out, providing updates as warnings change, and we'll track these storms together. We're just expecting some marginally severe pop-up storms, so it's not a ton to talk about constantly. So I'll chime in here and there, and I'll be in the background posting, keeping everyone updated who can't watch the live stream, and I'll update the ticker. And as you can see, we have a new severe thunderstorm warning that was just issued for the Newmarket area, and there isn't anything in that area yet, but Environment Canada's doing it in advance because there's storms to the east, to the west, uh, towards Alliston, I believe. Let me zoom in here. That's probably near Pickerton, yeah, Bradford, Cookstown. So these storms are moving into the Newmarket area. I'm just double checking at what Environment Canada's predicting. So Toonie size hail and 90-kilometer-an-hour wind gusts for the Cookstown storm. That's interesting. That's the highest Environment Canada's gone for today so far for a storm. I'm just going to take off the reports we have so we can have the full radar, and I'll put that back on the stream when I take a break and go into the background. So as you can see, there's a few main storms. So this one tracking right across Highway 11 between Barrie and Hawkstone, so Oro's getting it right over, and this is going to go over Lake Simcoe, and Aurelia's also getting it, but let me double check. It looks like Aurelia may actually miss the bulk of the storm. It looks like the core of it is going to go over Lake Simcoe, because it's kind of moving directly east. So it was kind of moving more northeasterly, but it's kind of taken more of an easterly turn in the last few scans. And this is the storm that Environment Canada thinks is producing Toonie-size hail near Cookstown. It's very close to the radar. Oh, I can see why. Yeah, there was a fair, decent core just to the southwest of Cookstown there on the scan before. So definitely be aware if you're heading down Highway 400, that core of the storm is about to go through between Bradford, West Gwillimbury, and Cookstown, somewhere between there, and that's heading towards Fennel's Corner and eventually Northern Newmarket. And then there's another storm behind that near Alliston. I believe that one's Environment Canada's predicting nickel-sized hail. And then we're continuing to watch these storms through Kitchener. I'm surprised Environment Canada hasn't warned these because they're kind of like really slow moving, and they could be producing a lot of rain in a short amount of time. And they've just been like sitting over that area for the last hour. And as I animate it, you can kind of see how it's like really slow moving. It's kind of picked up in speed the last few scans. So Guelph's about to get something. Brampton soon. Erin, Claude, Bolton, you're about to get a storm. Right now, Environment Canada is saying it's non-severe. It might be on the edge. And of course, the flooding potential is very real there. And I'm just going to take a quick glance. And I think the London storms, it looks like the ones in Southwestern Ontario are starting to fizzle out a bit. They were a lot stronger a few scans ago. There's the strongest part of this storm is probably to the north of Thamesville, Croton, Newbury eventually. You just got a storm earlier and you're getting more. Could be some decent sized hail in that. And then this one near Beechwood, Middlesex Center, Bowood, Duncrief, Poplar Hill, you're likely seeing maybe some nickel-sized hail. Keep watching that one, and we've been watching these ones over north of Detroit. And they're staying there, but they haven't really moved. So we'll see if they affect Sarnia. I'm questioning that one. It looks like most of the energy is further to the north now, as we see storms pop up around the Lake Simcoe area. And I'm just going to take a look at velocity here to see what we're dealing with. Nothing stands out in terms of wind speed. Maybe the strongest storm in terms of wind is near Beacon, near Alston. We're getting up there, 60-kilometer-an-hour winds being detected, but I would guess Environment Canada is mainly concerned with the hail potential of these storms and, of course, the flooding. We've seen them training. So the strongest storm is over Lake Simcoe right now. It will likely come on shore near Brecon, Beaverton, eventually Carden, towards the northern Corva Lakes region. We'll see if it stays that strong. And then, of course, these storms further to the south. As they track towards Keswick, northern Newmarket, and then we'll see what these storms to the south do. So that's what we're watching right now. I'm just going to double check to see if anything has been changed since I've been talking. And I don't see anything new. So I'm going to go back in the background and I will be back really shortly with another update. I'm going to try to give another update around 6 o'clock if we don't have any new warnings that are issued by then. So stay tuned. I'll be here and I'll jump in if I see anything interesting. Thanks for watching. Hey everyone, Brennan back with another update. So I've just posted a radar update letting everyone know about that storm going through Lake Simcoe area, and we're just going to take a look. I do know there has been some changes to the watches, so I'm going to start there to see. So you can kind of see the areas under a warning don't show the watches because they're being there's a warning in effect, so we will see that the watches have been extended eastward for Uxbridge, Northern Durham region, along with Corfa Lakes and Northern Corfa Lakes. And that's for those storms that are tracking over Lake Simcoe right now towards. And I'm just going to switch back to the warnings here so we can see the latest warnings. They haven't changed since the last time I was here. But we're still watching. The strongest storm seems to be this one tracking over Lake Simcoe. I'm just going to check out nothing interesting of velocity. It's mostly a hail risk, as I've been saying. Barry's under a severe thunderstorm warning right now, but it looks like Barry's mostly in the clear unless this storm to the west starts get going. I don't think it will, but we'll keep an eye on that. But the main pocket of the storm is over Lake Simcoe with some sizable hail, and this is heading right straight for Beaverton. Beaverton's about to get a storm. I would give it about 15-20 minutes-ish. You're under a severe thunderstorm watch. I wouldn't be surprised if Environment Canada decides to extend that to a warning as that storm tracks closer. Definitely some strong winds with this storm that's northeast of Beaverton. We're getting up there close to 65 kilometers an hour, and that's tracking right over Highway 400 between Cookstown and Bradford. And then there's another storm over Colson's Hill. These are really close to the radar, so it's very hard to get a good estimate of hail potential with them. But Environment Canada is warning up to 2-inch-size hail with some of these. And we're still watching these storms over Kitchener. Kitchener's kind of really fizzled out a lot. The storms to the northeast are the strongest just near Guelph, Rockwood, heading into Acton, Erin, eventually Bradford, Georgetown. You're going to get some non-severe storms at the moment. That area is under a severe thunderstorm watch, so we'll see what Environment Canada does. And I'm just going to take a look further to the southwest. And these ones are really fizzling out over London, Thamesville. We will see what they do, but I wouldn't be surprised if Environment Canada lifts those warnings soon. See what they do. There's definitely still some flooding potential through London until these storms fully weaken. I'm just going to double check here. Yeah, these storms are kind of fizzling in north of Detroit. So basically what we're mainly watching is these storms just to the northwest of the GTA, so Guelph, Georgetown, Erin, and then to the north. And is this? Yeah, this is a new scan, and we can still see the purple on radar, which is indicating hail, is showing up quite prominently over Lake Simcoe as it tracks toward Beaverton. So if you're in the Beaverton area, get ready for some hail if the storm doesn't weaken by then. And that's the main storm. And then these two cells that are tracking just north of Bradford at the moment. Likely some hail associated with them, maybe some strong winds. So we'll keep watching those. Just looking at your comments. Sanders asking, is Midland okay? Yeah, I think Midland would be fine. Once we get more development, which we're not really expecting it, yeah, Midland looks fine. It's mostly around Lake Simcoe area, Aurelia, Newmarket, Midland's in the clear. Maybe The next rest for Central Ontario will probably be Wednesday. Tuesday is looking more Eastern Ontario, so we're talking about the Ottawa Valley, maybe into Brockville. That area, we'll keep an eye on that, and we'll have a forecast shortly for that. And Wednesday looking more widespread, so we're talking about most of Southern Ontario. Of course, these storms will be isolated, so not everyone will see a storm, but the potential is there. Still says, will it be thunderstorms or potential for a tornado thundercloud? I believe you're talking about maybe today's storms. We're not really expecting tornado potential today per se. Like the risk is always there with these storms, but the environment isn't really that strong to cause rotation, these storms to rotate, which produces tornadoes eventually. So not really today. Maybe tomorrow. Tomorrow's looking fairly decent for tornado risk in eastern Ontario for the Ottawa Valley, so we'll keep an eye on that. Is Peterborough going to get anything tonight? Well, let's take a look. You may get some storms later in a few hours, but by the time the storms reach your area, I'm questioning because these storms are very slow moving. They've been moving over like the Newmarket area for the last hour. So by the time they reach Peterborough, they may be fairly weak. I would say you maybe get some non-severe storms. We're looking at some non-severe storms overnight if models are correct. And that's a problem today because these pop-up storms aren't really being picked up by models that well. So it's very hard to say where they show up, and just as I was talking, it looks like we have a new severe thunderstorm warning that was just issued for the Guelph and Georgetown area. So that's for that storm tracking into northwestern part of the GTA, so Brampton is about to get something. And right now, the strongest portion of that storm is heading through Churchill, Acton, eventually Georgetown, Brampton, and that's within the next 20, 30 minutes. And what about Scarborough? Scarborough could be getting some storms in a few hours. It's hard to say if these storms will survive because they're just like popping up and diminishing. And as the sun goes down in the next 2 hours, we'll see the risk really diminish and the storms fall apart because they're being fueled by daylight heating. So you could see some storms. We have a marginally severe risk for Toronto and Scarborough, but it's very questionable because these storms are very slow moving. Fans asking, are these storms heading for Minden and Halliburton? Don't believe, no. The main risk right now is further to your south, so Fenland Falls maybe, but Minden and Halliburton is too far north for the storms over Lake Simcoe at the moment. See if we get more development. You may get some storms overnight, so we're expecting a second round of storms overnight, crossing into Georgian Bay through central Ontario early Tuesday morning. And they're mainly supposed to be non-severe, but we could see some marginally severe, and that's why we have a forecast for a broad swath of central Ontario for tomorrow morning for these storms. Just in case they reach that level, I don't think they will. The main risk tomorrow is for the afternoon and evening in eastern Ontario, so the Ottawa Valley. Will Wellsburg get a storm tonight at all? I believe you're down here. Um, Zoom in here. Yeah, Wellsburg. You're under severe thunderstorm warning right now, but I that storm's kind of moved out, so I would expect Environment Canada to end that soon. I think Wellsburg is in the clear right now. We may see some more storms develop later tonight. There is some indication, as I've been saying, in Michigan we may see a lot of storms develop. by the time it reaches our area after midnight, it probably won't have many severe threats, but it could be a noisy night for thunderstorms. Is Gravenhurst okay? I think you're in the clear because these storms are well to the south of Gravenhurst in their path, like they're moving easterly now, and we'll see if there's that can't rule out some more pop-up storms that we've been seeing these storms pop out of nowhere. But as we get closer to 8 o'clock is when we expect these storms to start to diminish because of the lack of daylight heating. So we'll keep an eye on that. I don't think Gravenhurst is going to see much at the moment. Just checking radar here to see if we have any new things that popped up here. Yeah, that storm still continues as it tracks into Beaverton. It's looking a little weaker on the latest scan, so maybe not as much hail as it was initially, as they kind of are fizzling out following the same trend we've been seeing in Southwestern Ontario with these storms. We're getting close to the end, I think, with these storms. It's mainly just these three areas we're watching. The one that's heading towards Beaverton, this one towards Keswick, and then this one near Georgetown. Those are the three storms we're watching. So if you're asking about your area, basically, unless you're east of these areas, so we're talking about like Durham region, York region, maybe Toronto, maybe Mississauga. That area could see some storms within the next hour or so, maybe 2 hours. But past that, these storms will very quickly fizzle out, as we've seen in southwestern Ontario. She says, have you ever been to a place called Santa Claus Village north of Aurelia and Bracebridge? Yeah, actually, I grew up in Bracebridge, so I'm very familiar with Santa's Village. I'm from the Muskoka area, but now I live in Toronto. It's definitely a very nice area. And it looks like we have a new severe thunderstorm warning. And as you can see, it just pops up on our map. Environment Canada is getting ahead of themselves and issuing this in advance of these storms as they approach Northern Durham region, Corfa Lakes, Fenelon Falls. Those are the new severe thunderstorm warnings that were just issued. And Environment Canada has also ended the warning for Barrie and Innisfil, which is expected because these storms are moving out of the region. I'm surprised they ended the Innisfil region though, because oh wait, yeah, that makes sense. I wasn't fully on the latest scan. Yeah, they're kind of moving out of that area. Well, that's the latest, and we still have those severe thunderstorm warnings for the Georgetown area. These storms are heading towards Brampton. Oh yeah, we'll keep an eye on those. I'm gonna go back in the background. I'm gonna update the ticker because we just had a few warnings issued, and I'll be back shortly with another update. Thank you for watching. I'll be back soon. Hey everyone, I'm back here with another update. So we've had a few changes to our warnings in the southwest. So Chatham-Kent, as expected, is no longer under severe thunderstorm warning. Environment Canada does seem to be keeping the severe thunderstorm warnings in the London area, but these storms are fizzling out very quickly. So I would expect those to come to an end shortly. And we're also watching these storms in north of the GTA. And I'm just going to flip over to our watches because we got some new watches that were just issued here. So I'll show you them. So we have new watches that are issued for Brampton, Caledon, and Vaughan and Markham. So that's suspected because these storms are tracking to the north east into the GTA with these storms that are severe warned through the Georgetown area. Switching back to the warnings here, you can see this concerning storm is heading into Brampton at the moment. The main concern is hail and some strong winds. Some strong winds with this one that's just heading into Palgrave. Albion, eventually Silver Creek, Hammertown, Nobleton. Keep an eye on that one. It's not under severe thunderstorm warning at the moment. It is under watch, I believe. So yeah, and we are watching these ones north of Newmarket. It seems like that cell is becoming the more dominant one compared to the one that was tracking towards Beaverton. That was looking a little more impactful with the hail core, but it's really weakened within the last few scans. I'm just going to switch over to velocity. Not much to talk about in velocity. We're not expecting tornado potential with these storms, but the potential is always there. It can't be ruled out with these storms. So that's what we're watching right now, and these storms do seem to be slowly fizzling out, very slowly. We haven't seen many new developing storms, which is a good sign, which means things are slowing down here. And Guelph was just taken out of the severe thunderstorm warning. You'll see that update on the map here. Oh, severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for Toronto. Interesting. Or is that a watch? Maybe a watch. No, a warning. So severe thunderstorm warning is in effect for the Toronto area. We'll see that update on the map really soon. There we are. So Environment Canada is getting ahead of the storm and issued severe thunderstorm warnings for Brampton, Mississauga, Toronto, Markham, Vaughan. So you were just added to the severe thunderstorm warning. And we have a severe thunderstorm warning still in effect for Georgetown, Milton. That will likely come to an end as these storms track out of the region, and Guelph was just taken out of the warning because the storm's weakened there. And not much to talk about in the London area, just some rain for now. I'm not even seeing any lightning on the radar at the moment, even though Environment Canada has a severe thunderstorm warning in effect. Seems like the main storms are occurring in a line from Beaverton all the way across York Region down into Georgetown as they track to the east into Toronto, Vaughan, Markham, Newmarket. So you're gonna get some storms. Those are the storms we're watching. We'll see how they develop here. And as I've been mentioning, this is mostly being fueled by daylight heating, which is slowly diminishing as the sun gets lower and lower on the horizon, and it'll be fully diminished as we get to sunset. So expect these storms to probably last for about an hour-ish as they track towards the GTA. And if you're asking about like Mississauga, Toronto, Markham, you're under severe thunderstorm warning right now, imminent. It's gonna occur shortly. But further to the east, when we're talking about like Oshawa, Lindsay is in the severe thunderstorm warning, but the storms are still quite a distance away. We'll see how far they make it before they die off. And then Peterborough, you're not under any watches or warnings, I believe, at the moment, unless Environment Canada has suspended the watches. I don't believe they have. No, they haven't. You don't see the watches in effect here because they're being surpassed by the warnings in effect right now. So yeah, the main concern with these storms are hail. We're talking about like quarter, maybe dime-sized hail. Environment Canada earlier, I'm not sure if they've updated the warning. They were warning for some quarter-sized hail with these storms, but and toonie size, but I haven't seen any reports of hail that large. It's likely more close to the dime nickel size level, maybe up to quarter, as these track to the east, and another risk would be flooding for sure, because these storms are moving into a more urban area that's prone to flooding when storms lock into an area for a long period of time, although they are moving a bit more faster than we saw with the ones near London. I'll be watching those ones. So that's basically our main concern right now. We'll keep watching these as they track to the east, and I'll be back with another update very shortly. Hey everyone, Brennan here with one more update on the storms as they are slowly weakening. So an update first on Southwestern Ontario. Environment Canada has ended all warnings there, and I believe they've also ended all the watches. I'm just going to double check here to confirm. Yep, so all the watches have been ended for Southwestern Ontario, so if you're in Southwestern Ontario, you're good right now. We could see some more storms overnight, but unlikely they'll be severe. So I'm gonna just look at our warnings, which is a very small area. So basically just Brampton, Vaughan, Markham, and Toronto right now for the severe thunderstorm warning. And it does look like that storm that prompted the severe thunderstorm warning is slowly weakening as it moves into the GTA. The storm force field is holding up strong. So we should see that one come to an end shortly. It's still in effect now, and Environment Canada did remove the warnings to the north, which these storms are weakening, which is expected because we're losing daylight hours slowly. So we'll keep an eye on these storms, but once they diminish, that should be it for tonight, other than the storms coming early tomorrow morning. And they don't look particularly severe. I'm just gonna take a quick look at the models in the background because I've been on here live streaming, so I can see what the latest data looks like. So I'm just gonna look in the background here and I'll react as I see it. Just seeing what the models show for storms overnight here. So yeah, we could see some storms tracking over Lake Huron around midnight tonight. And they're going to track across the Bruce Peninsula and maybe into central Ontario, so like Barrie, Orillia, Muskoka. They don't look severe. They will be like maybe a few lightning strikes, some small hail. I don't really expect some severe weather. And they'll track through eastern Ontario throughout the morning hours, so expect to wake up to some rainy weather in the morning, and then that will set the stage for tomorrow afternoon, which we're looking at a potentially slight to maybe strong severe risk in central Ontario. So there's nothing right, I mean, eastern Ontario. There's nothing right now, but I'm just going to show you the area where we're talking about tomorrow. So we're talking about like Renfrew, Pembroke, Ottawa, Carleton Place, Lanark, Perth, Russell, this area. So like the Ottawa Valley, we're going to see the traditional storms that pop up like over Algonquin Park, Bancroft, and then they slowly track to the east tomorrow afternoon, where we could see some severe weather. Hail would be a concern. Wind gusts, maybe one or two tornadoes can't be ruled out tomorrow. So it's probably our strongest tornado risk we've seen this year so far. I don't believe we've had a one or two tornado risk this year yet. So that's what we're watching, and keep an eye on our page tonight or early tomorrow morning. I'll have a forecast out for Tuesday, and then we're watching Wednesday again. Wednesday's a little questionable because the environment's really good, but will we see any storm development is a question. It could be a big bust, as we call it. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. And for location wise, on Wednesday, we're looking at basically all of Southern Ontario's in the risk zone. We could see like a line of storms similar to what we saw today, but more widespread and more severe because there's more environment to work with. So we'll definitely do some more updates on that one as it gets closer to Wednesday. So stay tuned for that. I'm going to leave the stream up until we get the severe thunderstorm warning ends for the Toronto area. I don't believe it's ended yet. I would expect it would be soon because the storms are gradually weakening. I'm just going to refresh our reports on Ontario storm reports to see what we have here. So this is the latest report. Midtown Toronto facing west. You can see these storms do have some interesting structure to them. They're more what we call more bark than bite. So basically they look very strong, but they don't really pack much of a punch. So we'll keep an eye on those. And that's basically what we're watching right now. So I'll be in the background, I'll be watching, and if I see anything pop up, I don't really expect it, but who knows? But I'll be here, so stay with us. Have a great evening. Hey everyone, Brennan here with one final update before we shut down the stream because these storms are rapidly weakening as we get close to sunset, and Environment Canada has ended all severe thunderstorm warnings as the storms that prompted those through the Greater Toronto area have diminished significantly. Mainly just rain now, maybe a few lightning strikes and some smallish size hail. I just saw that Environment Canada has ended all of the severe thunderstorm watches, I believe. So we're basically reached the end of today's severe risk. But we continue to monitor tomorrow, which Adam will be back tomorrow to cover these storms live as you are used to. He'll be back. Thank you for staying with us for this hybrid stream. We're trying something different this year to allow us to cover more of these events because usually today it was a marginally severe event, so we normally wouldn't be going live for these, but we know many of you rely on these live streams to stay safe and help with your storm anxiety, so we're trying to be here, keeping you updated on as the storms develop. So we will be back tomorrow, very likely for another stream, and stay tuned to our social media pages. Make sure you, if you don't already, please download our free app, instantweatherapp.com. I will be pushing out a new forecast for tomorrow, either later tonight after I look at the models or early in the morning if we don't have an agreement tonight. But it looks like models are starting to get on a rough idea, which is mainly the Ottawa Valley area, maybe towards Cornwall, Brockville. For the main severe risk, we may see some nocturnal storms tonight after the midnight hour, as storms tracking from Michigan across Lake Huron, across the Bruce Peninsula, and into central Ontario. Not much of a concern with those. Maybe a slight isolated potential for marginally severe storms this morning, but tomorrow morning, but very questionable. Probably not. So don't be surprised if you get woken up by some lightning, some small hail in the morning. It's going to be very wet across central Ontario tomorrow morning. These storms move through into eastern Ontario, and then all eyes will shift towards Tuesday for a severe risk in eastern Ontario, and then Wednesday for a widespread severe risk across southern Ontario. But that one's looking more questionable because we'll have to see if we actually have storms developing. If there's no storms developing, then the there's nothing to take advantage of the environment. So you can have as strong as environment as possible, but if there's no storms, then there's no severe weather. So we'll keep an eye on that. So please download our app and stay tuned to our social media pages. Thank you for joining us tonight. Good night.